In today's lesson, we will discuss about the bills of exchange. This is our second class relating to introduction of bill of exchange. So in this class, we are going to discuss about these particular terms there and the journal entries related to that of bill of exchange. So basically, if you observe the kinds of the bills, if you observe, there are different kinds of bills. In other words, bills may be classified. Okay, bills may be classified like this. Bills may be classified as inland bills and foreign bills. So what are inland bills? Inland bills are nothing but, this is one way of classification. Inland bills are nothing but bills drawn within a particular country. In other words, the parties to the bill of exchange, they will belong to that of the one country. Just like one person in one state, he has drawn the bill on a person on another state, or within the same state they have drawn it. On the overall, within the same boundaries of one particular country, the bills are being drawn. It is called as inland bills. Whereas foreign bills means here bills drawn between the two people belonging to that of different countries. Okay, they are called as foreign bills. This is one way of classification of bills there. Then second way we can say bills may be also classified as trade bills and accommodation bills. Trade bills means bills drawn because of some trade transaction taking place between the parties. Okay, in other words here, because for the consultation to be moved between the parties, they will be drawing these particular bills. Then accommodation bills. What are accommodation bills? Accommodation or bills are nothing but here bills drawn between the parties in order to accommodate the money. Okay, in other words, basically there will not take place any particular transaction between them, but then they will be drawing the bills on each other in order to accommodate the money needed. Okay, in other words, here after the bills being drawn there on each other, they will go and they will discount those bills and again they will accommodate the money needed. Okay, when we are doing the problem, we will be going in detail regarding this accommodation bills. This is one way of classification. The next way, in other words, we can say bills may be, again, they may be classified as demand bills and time bills. Demand bills are nothing but here, these are those bills wherein upon demand, the money on that particular bill has to be paid by the drawee. Whereas time bills means bills drawn for some particular time, just like bill is drawn for some 3 months, 4 months like that. So these are different ways of bills. These are different kinds of the bills which are being drawn. Okay, I hope you have understood. Inland bills అంటే ఒకదే drawee, in other words, ఆ బిల్ రాసుకున్న పార్టీలు రెండు కూడా ఒకే కంట్రీలో ఉంటాయి. ఫారెన్ బిల్స్ అంటే ఆ బిల్స్ రాసుకున్నటువంటి వ్యక్తులు వేరు వేరు దేశానికి చెందినటువంటి వాళ్ళు ఉంటారు. ఇది ఒక రకమైన క్లాసిఫికేషన్. సెకండ్ వన్, ఇది ఒక రకం ఏంటంటే ట్రేడ్ బిల్స్, అకామిడేషన్ బిల్స్. ట్రేడ్ బిల్స్ అంటే వర్తక బిల్లులు అంటారు, అంటే వర్తక వ్యవహారాలు మధ్య జరిగినందుకు రాసుకున్నటువంటి బిల్స్. నెక్స్ట్ అకామిడేషన్ బిల్స్ అంటే ఆ ఉన్నటువంటి బిల్స్ రాసుకున్నటువంటి వ్యక్తులు ఫైనల్ ఆ మనీని అకామిడేట్ చేసుకోవడానికి వాళ్ళు ఒకళ్ళ పైన ఒకళ్ళు రాసుకునేటువంటి బిల్స్. వాస్తవానికి వాళ్ళ మధ్యలో ఎటువంటి ట్రేడ్ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ జరగకపోయినప్పటికీ కూడా ఆ మనీని అకామిడేట్ చేసుకోవడానికి గాను వాళ్ళు రాసుకునేటువంటి బిల్స్, అకామిడేషన్ బిల్స్. తెలుగులో మనం సర్దుబాటు బిల్లులు అంటారు. నెక్స్ట్ ఇది ఒక రకమైన క్లాసిఫికేషన్. డిమాండ్ బిల్స్ అంటే డిమాండ్ చేసినప్పుడు ఆ బిల్లు పైన పైకం చెల్లించాల్సి ఉంటుంది, డిమాండ్ బిల్స్. టైం బిల్స్ అంటే ఒక నిర్ణీత వ్యవధికి గాను రాసేటటువంటి బిల్స్. మామూలుగా మనం ఇప్పుడు ట్రేడ్ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ టైం బిల్స్ గురించి మనం ఎక్కువగా డీల్ చేయడం జరుగుతుంది. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ద డిఫరెంట్ కైండ్స్ ఆఫ్ bills which are being drawn. Now coming to the terms which we use in bills of exchange. Normally in this chapter we will come across these particular terms. Okay, these terms also most of them we have already discussed. Drawer. Okay, who is the drawer? Drawer is a person who draws the instrument. Drawer is a person who writes bills of exchange. Drawee. Drawee is a person, okay, he is also called as an acceptor. He accepts that particular bill which is being drawn on him. Okay, he is a person who is accepting, saying that I will make the payment on the bill on the due date. He is called as a drawee, or he is accepting as such. We can also call him as acceptor. Next, bills receivable. Bills receivable is nothing but here this particular bill of exchange which is written between the drawer and the drawee. If you observe, this particular bills is, in other words, that particular bill of exchange will become bills receivable to the drawer because on the due date, okay, the money will be received on that particular bill. It will become bills receivable to the drawer. Whereas bills payable. Bills payable is nothing but the same bill which is being drawn by the drawer on the drawee. Okay, it will become bills payable to the drawee because on the due date he is supposed to make the payment on that particular bill. Next, endorser. Endorser means endorser is a person who endorses the bill to the third party. Endorser means here he is that particular person who transfers the value in that instrument to some other party for the amount which he is supposed to pay. Okay, in other words, normally here drawer is a person who can transfer that value in that instrument to certain other person or to the third party to whom he is supposed to pay the money. So he is called as the endorser. Whereas endorsee is a person to whom that particular bill is being endorsed. In other words, he is that particular person on whose name that value is being transferred. He is called as endorsee. Next, dishonor of bill. Dishonor of bills means here See, on the due date, when the amount on the bill is not paid by that particular, in other words here by the drawee, okay, in other words here if the drawee has failed to make the payment on the bill on the due date, we will say the bill is dishonored. Then again, retirement of bill. Retirement of bill means here, what is this particular term, retirement of bill? Retirement of bill means here, if the drawee, okay, if the drawee or the person who is supposed to pay the money, acceptor, if he pays the money earlier to that of the due date, then we will say the bill is retired, okay, or we can say retirement of bill. In other words here, just take for example, drawer has given 3 months time there, okay, after 2 months only drawee came and he is paying back that money which is supposed to pay on the bill, okay, earlier to that of the due date he came and he is paying it, then we will say it is as retirement of a bill. Then next, payee. Payee is the person who receives the payment on the bill on the due date, okay, in other words here when the drawee is making payment, the person who is receiving that particular money on that particular bill is said to be the payee. Next, renewal of a bill. What is the meaning of renewal of a bill? Renewal of a bill means here, see, making a old bill anew, okay, in other words here, drawing a fresh bill in place of the old bill is called as renewal. Just like what happens means here, sometimes the drawee is not in a position to pay the money on the due date, okay, he may come and he may ask this particular drawer to draw a fresh bill in place of old bill with some extra interest for some extra period, okay, so that is called as the renewal of a bill. So normally we will come across these terms in our chapter there. So drawer is a person who draws the instrument, drawee is a person who accepts the bill of exchange, bills receivable is nothing but this is the amount, the person who, in other words for the drawer, that particular bill will become bills receivable because he is supposed to receive the money, bills payable, okay, the same bill of exchange will become bills payable to the drawee because he is supposed to make payment on that particular bill on the due date. Endorser. Endorser is the person who transfers that particular value, that instrument to certain other person for the amount which he is supposed to pay. Basically here, drawer will be the endorser. Okay. Then again, endorsee. Endorsee is the person to whom that particular value, that instrument is being transferred. Then dishonor of bill. Dishonor of bill means on the due date, if this particular drawee has failed to make the payment on the bill, we will call it as a dishonor of a bill. Then retirement of a bill. Retirement of a bill means here, if the drawee has made the payment earlier to that of the due date on that particular bill, then we will call the bill is retired. Then again, payee. Okay, payee means the person who is going to receive the payment on the bill there when the drawee is making the payment. Then again, renewal of a bill. Renewal of a bill means here making a old bill as a new bill. In other words, drawing a fresh bill in place of the old bill, okay, for one reason or the other. We will call it as renewal of a bill. So normally we will come across these particular terms in this chapter. Okay, I hope you people are following me. Next, methods of dealing with bill of exchange. In other words, here the drawer, okay, the drawer after drawing the bill on the drawee, okay, in other words, the creditor after drawing the bill on the debtor. These are the four alternatives which are left over in front of him there before the due date. He can do these four things there. These are the four alternatives left over. What are those? See, bill retained till the due date and is presented for payment on the due date. In other words, drawer after drawing the bill on the drawee, in other words, the creditor after drawing the bill on the debtor, okay, till the due date, what he can do, he can retain that bill with him only, and on the due date, okay, he will be presenting that particular bill for payment to that particular drawee. This is the first thing. ఓకే, అంటే బిల్లు రాసిన తర్వాత డ్రావర్ ఆ బిల్లు తర్వాతనే ఉంచుకొని డ్యూ డేట్ వరకు తర్వాతనే ఉంచుకుంటాడు. డ్యూ డేట్ నాడు డబ్బులు చెల్లించడానికి డ్రాయింగ్కి పేమెంట్ కొరకు ప్రజెంట్ చేస్తాడు అన్నట్టు. దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఫస్ట్ సిచ్యువేషన్. సెకండ్ వన్ ఈస్ ద బిల్ ఈస్ డిస్కౌంటెడ్ విత్ ద బ్యాంక్ బిఫోర్ ద డ్యూ డేట్. ఇన్ అదర్ వర్డ్స్ హియర్ discounting the bill is nothing but after the drawer drawing the bill on the drawee, what he can do, he can discount the bill with the bank. Discount means he can sell that particular bill to the bank. Banker, out of that particular bill amount, some amount he will retain, the banker will retain towards the discounting charges. The remaining will be paid to the drawer immediately. So this is called as selling the bill to the banker. Next one, the bill is endorsed to the third party for settlement of their dues. In other words, here drawer, after the drawing the bill on the drawee, what he can do, he can endorse to the third party in settlement of his particular dues. Okay, just like you can take one example. Okay, if A has drawn a bill on B, okay, A is the drawer, B is the drawee. After drawing, after obtaining B's acceptance, this A, what he can do, he can endorse this particular bill to some party called as C, because to see if A is supposed to pay the money, the same amount if he is supposed to pay, this particular bill, he can transfer the value in that particular bill of exchange to this particular party called as C. At that time, the C is called as endorsee, whereas this party drawer, okay, he in this case he is called as endorser. He is called as endorsee. In other words, this particular instrument is transferred on the name of this particular endorsee. Okay, so the bill is endorsed to the third party for settlement of their dues. This is the third thing which they can do. Fourth one, the bill is sent to bank for collection before the due date. That means here, bill is drawn by A on B. Okay, before the due date of that particular bill, A, what will he do? He will send that particular bill to his particular bank. Okay, asking his bank to collect the money on that particular bill from the B and to put it in his account. It's called as bill sent to bank for collection. So these are the four alternatives left in front of the drawer after the drawing the bill. And drawee పైన అంటే క్రెడిటార్ డెటార్ పైన బిల్లు రాసిన తర్వాత ఈ 4 పనులు వాడు చేయొచ్చు. ఏం చేయొచ్చు? ఒకటి, బిల్లు రాసిన తర్వాత తన వద్దనే బిల్లు పెట్టుకుంటాడు. డ్యూ డేట్ వరకు తన వద్దనే పెట్టుకొని డ్యూ డేట్ నాడు దాన్ని పేమెంట్ వరకు ప్రజెంట్ చేస్తాడు డ్రాయీకి. ఇది మొదటి సిచ్యువేషన్. రెండవది ఏంటి అని అంటే బిల్లు వీని మీద రాసిన తర్వాత ఆ బిల్లుని వీడు ఏం చేయొచ్చు? తన బ్యాంక్ వాళ్ళకి ఆ బిల్లుని అమ్మేయవచ్చు. దాన్ని మనం ఏమంటామంటే డిస్కౌంటింగ్ ద బిల్ విత్ ద బ్యాంక్ అంటారు. ఓకే, అలా అమ్ముతే ఏమవుతుంది అని అంటే ఇప్పుడు చిన్నగా చూడండి, 10,000 బిల్లు ఉంది అనుకోండి, బిల్లు బ్యాంక్ వాడికి డిస్కౌంట్ చేసుకుంటే అంటే అమ్ముతే బ్యాంక్ వాడు ఏం చేస్తాడు? ఈ 10,000 లో నుండి 10,000 బిల్లు ఉంది అనుకోండి, దానికి వెళ్ళి ఒక 9,900 రూపీస్ అలా వీడికి ఇమీడియట్ గా ఇచ్చి ఒక 100 రూపీస్ డిస్కౌంటింగ్ ఛార్జెస్ అని పట్టుకోవడం జరుగుతుంది బ్యాంక్ వాడు. ఎందుకు అని అంటే ఒక్కసారి 9,900 ఇమీడియట్ గా వీడికి ఇచ్చేస్తే డ్యూ డేట్ వరకు బ్యాంక్ వాడు మళ్ళీ వేచి ఉండాలి. డ్యూ డేట్ నాడు వీడికి చెల్లించినప్పుడు వీడు తీసుకుంటాడు అన్నట్టు. సో అందుకొరకు వాడు డిస్కౌంటింగ్ ఛార్జెస్ కింద కొంత అమౌంట్ ని పట్టుకోవడం జరుగుతుంది. సో దాన్ని మనం ఏమంటాము? బిల్ ఈజ్ డిస్కౌంటెడ్ విత్ ద బ్యాంక్ బిఫోర్ డ్యూ డేట్ అంటున్నాం దాన్ని. మూడవది, ద బిల్ ఈజ్ ఎండార్స్డ్ అంటే అర్థం ఏంటి? ఇప్పుడు ఉదాహరణకి ఏ బి మీద బిల్లు రాసిన తర్వాత ఆ బిల్లుని తాను సికి డబ్బులు ఇవ్వాలి కాబట్టి ఆ బిల్లుని ఇతని పేరు మీద బదిలీ చేయడం, దాన్ని మనం ఎండార్స్మెంట్ అంటాం. వీడు ఎండార్సర్ అవుతాడప్పుడు ఈ సి వచ్చి ఏమవుతాడు? ఎండార్సీ అవుతాడు. ఓకే, ఇది మూడో సిచ్యువేషన్. బిల్ ఈజ్ ఎండార్స్డ్ టు ద థర్డ్ పార్టీ ఫర్ సెటిల్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ దర్ డ్యూస్. నెక్స్ట్, ద బిల్ ఈజ్ సెండ్ టు బ్యాంక్ ఫర్ కలెక్షన్ బిఫోర్ ద డ్యూ డేట్. ఈ నాలుగో సందర్భం. ఈ నాలుగో సందర్భంలో ఏం జరుగుతుంది అంటే బిల్లు ఏ బి పైన రాసిన తర్వాత గడువు తేదీ వచ్చేవరకు తన వద్దనే పెట్టుకొని గడువు తేదీ కంటే ముందు తన బ్యాంక్ వాళ్ళ దగ్గరికి పంపించి, అంటే ఆ బిల్లుని తన బ్యాంక్ వాళ్ళకి పంపించి బ్యాంక్ వాళ్ళకి ఒక ఆదేశం జారీ చేయడం జరుగుతుంది. ఒక స్టాండింగ్ ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్ ఇస్తాడు. ఏమని? ఈ బిల్లు పైన వచ్చే డబ్బుని వసూలు చేసిన ఆ అకౌంట్ లో వేయండి అని. సో దాన్ని మనం ఏమంటాము? ద బిల్ ఈజ్ సెంట్ టు బ్యాంక్ ఫర్ కలెక్షన్ బిఫోర్ ద డ్యూ డేట్ అని. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ది 4 alternatives which are left over in front of the drawer after drawing the bill. Now let's see the journal entries to be written in this particular chapter. See, for the different situations, what entries we should write in the books of the drawer and drawee. Here we are writing side by side, but basically in the examination, if asked, you are supposed to write separately the journal entries in the books of drawer and drawee. Now let's see the entries one after the other. See, the only point you should remember here is when you are writing entries in the books of the drawer, think from drawer's point of view. When you are writing entries in the books of drawee, think from drawee's point of view. Now let's see the first situation. When the bill is drawn and acceptance received, that means here this is the drawer, he has drawn a bill on the drawee and he has received the acceptance. At that time, in the books of the drawer, the entry will be bills receivable account debtor to drawee. Bills receivable because the bill he is receiving it, he is going to receive the money on this bill on the due date. It is bills receivable to him, it is coming in, it is real account debit what comes in. So the entry is bills receivable account debtor to drawee. Whereas coming to the drawees here, in the books of the drawee, when you are writing, think from drawee's point of view. You have accepted the bill drawn on you, so you are supposed to make the payment on that bill, so it will become bills payable to you. Bills payable is a liability to you. So your entry will be drawer account debtor to bills payable. Now next, when this particular bill which is being drawn and if it is retained by the drawer with him only till the due date, and on the due date if it is being honored, so we will say when the bill is honored, that means bill after drawing. In other words, drawer after drawing the bill on the drawee, he has retained that bill with him only till the due date. On the due date, the bill is honored. At that time, in the books of the drawer, the entry will be bank account debtor to bills receivable. Okay, because he will be receiving the money on that bill, whereas this bills receivable which he has debited earlier, now he is going to credit it. So bank account debtor to bills receivable. Next, in the books of the drawer, if you observe, he has made the payment on this particular bill which he has accepted earlier. So this bills payable, he is going to debit it here, and money is going out, so he is going to credit bank account. So the entry will be bills payable account debtor to bank in the books of the drawee. Now next situation. See, drawer has drawn the bill on the drawee. Then after that, if he has discounted the bill in the bank there at that time, Now think from drawer's point of view. Drawer is a person who is going to discount the bill with the bank. Discounting means here he is nothing but selling the bill to the bank. So banker, what will he do? Out of that particular entire bill amount, some amount he will take towards discounting charges, remaining he will pay. Just like if it is a 10,000 bill is there, banker, if he has charges some 100 rupees as discounting charges, he is going to pay 9,900. So from drawer's point of view, if you observe, he will write the entry bank account debtor 9,900 because it is coming in, it is deposited in his bank account. Then again discount, which is a expense to him, nominal account. So discount account debtor. Then again to bills receivable, because this bills receivable is going out when he is selling the bill to the banker. See, when the bill is discounted in the bank there, that transaction has taken place between the drawer and the banker there. So drawee is in no way connected with that particular one. So in the books of the drawee, there will be no entry. Now next, when this particular bill is discounted bill is honored on due date, at that time what will be the entry here? This is the next situation. When discounted bill is honored on due date, that means honored means here drawee will be making payment on that particular bill, that is honored here. So when this particular discounted bill is honored, now you can imagine the situations there. Who is making the payment? Drawee is making the payment, and who is receiving the money? The person who is having the bill with him on the due date. Who is having in this case? Since it is discounted, banker is having. So drawee is making the payment, banker is receiving. So in the books of the drawer, we will not have any entry. Whereas in the books of the drawee, if you observe, he knows only one thing, he has honored the bill on the due date. So whatever bill he has accepted earlier, on that he has made the payment. So the entry will be bills payable account debtor to bank. Okay, bills payable account debtor to bank. Now next situation you see. See, drawer after drawing the bill on the drawee, next what he has done, he has endorsed the bill. Endorsed means here that particular bill he has transferred on the name of some third party to whom he is supposed to pay the money. So that third party we will call it as endorsee. Okay, so this is next situation. When the bill is endorsed to a third party, at that time, who will be endorsing? The drawer will be endorsing. So the transaction has taken place between the drawer and the endorsee. So here the situation will be, and in other words the entry will be drawee account debtor to bills receivable. Okay, endorsee account debtor to bills receivable. Endorsee account debtor to bills receivable, because endorsee is a person. Okay, he is receiving that particular bill, so debit the receiver. Endorsee account debtor to bills receivable, because bills receivable is going out. Now this transaction, we will not have any entry in the books of drawee, because drawee is in no way connected with that particular transaction. Next, if this particular endorsed bill is honored on the due date, now observe carefully here. On the due date, who will pay the money and who will receive the money? This drawee will make the payment and endorsee will receive the money. So here drawer is no way connected. So in the books of the drawer, we will not have any entry. Whereas in the books of the drawee, we will have the entry bills payable account debtor to bank, because he knows only one thing. He is making the payment against the bill which he has accepted earlier. So bills payable account debtor to bank, that is the entry. Next situation here is when the bill is sent to bank for collection. That means here the bill is drawn by the drawer on the due date this particular drawee. Then again before the due date, he has sent the bill to his particular bank, asking his banker to collect the money on that particular bill. So at that time, okay, the entry will be bill sent to bank for collection account debtor to bills receivable. That means here this entry we are writing for sending the bill to the bank for collection. So who is sending? Drawer is sending. So if you think you are the drawer there, okay, bills receivable is going out. So for that purpose, you will open one new account in your book, bill sent to bank for collection account. Then your entry will be bill sent to bank for collection account debtor to bills receivable. This transaction has taken place between you and your particular banker. So in the books of the drawee, you will not have any entry. Next, if this particular bill which is being sent to bank for collection, if it is honored, that means when such a bill is honored means when this particular bill which is sent to bank for collection, if it is honored, that means drawee has paid the money on that particular bill. At that time, the entry will be banker will be collecting the money and he will be depositing in our account. So bank account debtor, we are going to debit bank account. Then this account which we have debited here in this entry, we are going to credit it. So our entry will be bank account debtor to bill sent to bank for collection account. Then in the books of the drawee, the entry will be bills payable account debtor to bank account. Okay, why? Because he has made the payment on the bill, right? Now let's discuss regarding this particular dishonor entries there. Dishonor means on the due date, if the drawee has failed to make payment on the bill, then we will call it as a dishonor of a bill. Now here we should understand that when a particular bill is being dishonored, whoever is the person who is the holder of that particular bill on the due date, he should get that particular bill noted with one particular official called as notary public. Now what happens here means, on the due date, if drawee has not made the payment, in the court of law, okay, drawee may prove that this particular bill is not presented to him on the proper form, so he has not made the payment. So there should be one particular legal evidence that this particular drawee has failed or he has not paid the payment on the bill there. So for that purpose, the holder of that particular bill on the due date, he should get that particular bill noted with this notary public. In other words, he is an officer who is appointed for that purpose. So in other words, the holder, when he approaches this notary public, he also will try to take, in other words, he will present that particular bill to the drawee, and he will try to collect the money from this particular drawee. And if drawee has not paid, at that time notary public will note that particular date of presenting, date on which he has failed to make the payment, and he will put his particular initial. So this will stand as an evidence in the court of law in the future to recover the money, okay, from the drawee. So simply here, for that particular purpose, for the notary public, some particular charges will be paid. They are called as noting charges. So simply here you should understand, the person, whoever is the holder of that particular bill of exchange on the due date, okay, he will be paying noting charges initially, then afterwards it will be recovered from the drawee. Now let's see in each situation what will be the entries there. See, when the bill retained till the due date is dishonored, okay, simply the clue I am giving you, whenever these particular bills are dishonored, okay, in whichever case it might be, in every entry in the books of the drawer, drawee account will be debited. So here understand this, when this particular bill retained till the due date is dishonored, at that time the entry will be drawee account debtor to bills receivable, because earlier when he has drawn the bills receivable he has debited, now he is crediting it. Now this is with the bill amount, then again whatever noting charges he has paid, for that he will be writing to cash, because cash is going out. So drawee account debtor to bills receivable to cash there. This is for noting charges. Whereas in the books of the drawee, in every case of dishonor, only one entry he will be writing it. It is nothing but bills payable account debtor, because when he has accepted the bills payable, okay, when he has accepted the bills payable was credited in that entry, now it is debited. Bills payable account debtor with the bill amount, then noting charges account debtor. This is nothing but noting charges which he is supposed to pay when he pays the money. Then again to drawer account, because this is an expense to him, we are debiting it here, it is a nominal account. See, next second situation, when discounted bill is dishonored. Take for example, drawer, he has discounted the bill with the bank, and on the due date, that particular discounted bill is dishonored. At that time, the entry will be drawee account debtor to bank. Okay, in other words, here drawee account debtor to bank. Literally understand, when the discounted bill is dishonored, banker, what will he do? Simply he will inform to this particular drawer that your bill is dishonored. As such, he will take away the bill amount as well as that particular noting charges from the account of this particular drawer, because earlier it is discounted with the bank. So the entry will be drawee account debtor to bank. This particular entry, when you are writing, it will be inclusive of both the bill amount as well as the noting charges. Whereas in the books of the drawee, the same entry will be passed here. Then again, when this is the third situation, when endorsed bill is dishonored. Now here in this case, the bill is endorsed by the drawer to the endorsee, and that particular bill is dishonored. At that time, entry will be the books of the drawer, drawee account debtor to endorsee. Now here in this case, you should understand, when the bill is noted, noting charges will be paid by the endorsee. As such, in this entry, bill amount plus noting charges put together, we are going to write this entry, drawee account debtor to endorsee. Whereas in the books of the drawee, the same entry will be passed here. Okay, the same entry will be passed. Next case, when bill sent to bank for collection is dishonored. So bill sent to bank for collection is dishonored means here, you understand, drawer, he has sent the bill to bank for collection, now that is dishonored on the due date. Now at that time, the entry in the books of the drawer will be drawee account debtor to bill sent to bank for collection account, plus then again he will write it to bank account. This is for noting charges, because it will be paid from the banker's account there. So drawee account debtor to bill sent to bank for collection account with the bill amount to noting charges amount. Then in the books of the drawee, the same entry will be repeated once again. Bills payable account debtor, noting charges account debtor to drawer. Okay, that is the entry here. Now these are the dishonor entries. Now coming to the next situation here, renewal of a bill. What is the meaning of renewal of a bill? Means here, making a old bill afresh as a new bill. In other words, here simply you should understand this particular one. Drawee, if on the due date, if he is not in a position to make payment to the drawer, he may request the drawer, okay, draw one fresh bill on me for the amount payable, as well as I will pay some extra interest to you for that extended period. So in such a case, with the mutual consent of both the drawer and drawee, the renewal of a bill will take place. Now here you should understand, because that particular renewal is taking place because of mutual consent, no question of noting charges here. So simply, in case of renewal of a bill, what entries we should write in the books of drawer and drawee means, first of all thing what we should do here is we should cancel the original bill. Okay, in other words, earlier whatever bill is being drawn on the drawee, that bill should be cancelled. So to cancel that particular original entry, in other words, when the bill is being drawn, we are going to write the dishonor entry we should write in the books of both the drawer as well as the drawee here. What a dishonor entry we should write means, simply you should understand that what that particular bill has been met with, whether the bill has been retained with the drawer, and if it is dishonored, this entry we are going to write. If it is discounted with the bank and dishonored, this entry you will write it. If it is endorsed and if it is dishonored, this entry you are going to write. Okay, if it is bill sent to bank for collection, if it is dishonored, this entry you are going to write. Of course, in the books of the drawee, the same entry will come. But these entries without the noting charges, we are going to write in both the parties. So for cancellation of the original bill, we should write a dishonor entry without noting charges in drawer book as well as the drawee book. Next. Now our next entry will be for the interest for the extended period. That means for the extended period, if interest is charged by this particular drawer, this particular interest is an income to him, so the entry will be drawee account data to interest. It is an income as such we are creating. Now coming to the drawee's point of view, this interest is an expense to him, so he should write the entry interest account data to drawer account. This is for the interest to be payable for the extended period. Next, for drawing the fresh bill, okay, when fresh bill is being drawn, here he is going to draw the bill along with the old bill amount plus this particular interest put together. So at that time our entry will be the ordinary entry when the bill is being drawn, bills receivable account data to drawee, whereas in the books of the drawee the entry will be drawer account data to bills payable. Okay, so in other words, simply you understand, in case of renewal of a bill there, depending upon the situation, okay, we are supposed to write the entry, because sometimes he may say a part of that particular bill amount this drawee will be paying it, for the remaining amount along with the interest he will ask us to draw a fresh bill. So at that time some interest will change there, depending upon the situation we should write that particular entry. Okay, now observe here, this is another case here, retirement of a bill. Okay, retirement of a bill means sometimes if drawee, okay, comes quickly, that means before the due date, earlier to that of the due date, if drawee comes forward to make the payment there, okay, if he makes the payment at that time, it is called as retirement of the bill. Okay, in other words, here the bill amount is met by the drawee before the due date, just like 3 months time is given, immediately after 2 months he comes and he will make the payment. At that time we will call it as a retirement of a bill. So in case of retirement of a bill, clearly you can understand there, if somebody, a particular person who is supposed to pay money to you, if he has paid earlier, he also expects some benefit from you. Okay, because he is making you payment earlier. So that particular benefit which is being given here, in this case we are calling it as rebate on bill. So observe here, so when the money is being received there, bank account debtor, that means if 10,000 amount is receivable, some 500 rupees rebate is given, so your entry will be bank account debtor 9,500, then rebate on bills account debtor. Okay, it is an expense to this particular drawer, so we are debiting it to bills receivable. Whereas in case of a drawee, he is making the payment there earlier, so rebate on bill is an income to him, so bills payable account debtor, against bills payable he is paying it, so bills payable account debtor to bank, whatever he has paid it, then again to rebate on bills, this is a income to him.